Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7 p.m. and time for our August agenda of the Yukon Planning Commission. Would you please stand and join us in the invocation given by Commissioner Smystrela and the flag salute given by Commissioner Doggett.
Bow your heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of being able to live in America. We should be so proud, and we are so thankful to you for everything you do for us. Give us tonight in this meeting the direction for the benefit of the city of Yukon as well as our citizens, and help us to make the correct decisions and keep by our side as we go through the rest of this week and bring everyone back safely to our next meeting. And we thank you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Join me in the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a roll call, please.
Bob Doggett.
Here.
Robert Davis.
Here.
Erlene Smystrela.
Here.
Larry Taylor.
Here. Okay, first item is approval of the minutes of the July 9th meeting. Does anybody have any corrections, or do we have a motion for approval?
Move to approve the minutes.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Bob Davis.
Yay.
Larry Taylor.
Yes.
Bob Doggett.
Yes.
Erlene Smystrela.
Yes.
Next is the visitors section. If there's anyone here that is not associated with one of the items on the agenda, would you please make yourself known? Seeing none, we'll continue with item 3. Is consider a resubmittal of the final plat of Stone Mill Phase 4 for a name change from 3N Development LLC to 4N Development LLC. Someone here to speak to that? John?
Simply just wanting to move it from a 3N or 3N LLC to a 4N LLC.
Just the name change?
It's the name change, nothing else at all.
Nothing else.
Simply what you guys looked at last time, just putting another name on it.
Okay. Did we not count correctly last time?
No, you missed one. No, I'm sorry. So that's...
Okay, does any of the Planning Commission have a question for Mr. Nail while he's here? Okay, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, in the case of the application for final plat submitted by 4N Development LLC, we've read the staff report and received testimony. Find ourselves in agreement with staff findings, including all plans and attachments cited in the staff reports, and I move this item be approved.
Okay, do we have a second to that?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Larry Taylor.
Yes.
Bob Doggett.
Yes.
Robert Davis.
Yes.
Erlene Smystrela.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. The next item has to do with the same general area. Consider drives for the Stone Mill Phase 4 commercial development by 4N Development LLC. No one here going to tell us about that? Yes.
Good afternoon, or evening, I guess. I'm Kendall Dillon with Crafton Toll. I'm representing, obviously, the applicant, Mr. John Nail, who's also here. And we'll be real brief, but generally the purpose of this application is to get the approval for our driveway locations that would serve our proposed commercial development there on the north side of 10th, west side of Mustang Road. And as you can see by, I think, your exhibit in your staff report, it shows the overall site plan. And you can see from that we are proposing a total of 3 drives that would service this development. And we currently have plans to construct the south and the middle drive with our current phasing that we've made application with the city. The North Drive is a proposed, let me back up, the approach is actually already constructed. However, the drive itself will be a future drive that'll service our next phase. But if you'll notice on your exhibit, you'll see that the South Drive and the Middle Drive, the separation between the two, is in excess of 500 feet. Therefore, we're meeting your code. However, the driveway, the future drive to the north and the Middle Drive, you'll see that's 258 feet separation, and obviously is a little less than your 500 foot as per your code, and therefore we're requesting a variance to permit us to construct it in this manner. Part of the reason that we're asking for that variance, predominantly there's an existing pipeline that parallels Mustang Road, and if you've noticed as you go north, there's a little more of a grade incline and a hump coming off of Mustang Road, which that pipeline is in. So we've got some grade issues in terms of trying to get a drive through there that conflicts with that pipeline. So given that, and then obviously another consideration, if you were to look on that site plan, you'll see that given the geometry of the site, if we were to adhere to that 500-foot separation and push, it would push it predominantly to the north end of the site, which is kind of in that triangle there created by the pond. And that's an area where there's some existing trees that we'd also kind of like to leave those as well. So I think specifically given the pipeline, obviously, you know, it helps us with the ability to maintain those trees, and we still feel like 258 feet separation is more than adequate and allow traffic to function properly. So, and one other thing I might mention is if you look at that site plan, you'll notice that that parking lot predominantly or that driveway predominantly services a parking lot that services the one structure, the one building. So that being the case, we feel like that the amount of traffic on that particular drive will be significantly reduced, and therefore we feel like that the current configuration of our drives will operate amply, and we'll service it well, and we'd respectfully ask for your approval.
I'm sure you meant to say every time you said Mustang Road, you really meant Yukon Parkway.
Oh, sorry. That's very offensive here, I know. Yes, bad mistake on my part.
Okay.
I'm used to the exit sign,
Yeah.
which maybe that's changed too.
I just didn't want to have to come back and change at a future meeting.
I know. That's about the worst mistake a guy can make. So I sincerely apologize, and it will not happen again.
Mitchell, what does staff have to say about this less than 500 foot?
If you'll look at conditions 1 and 2, city engineer with TEC, the traffic engineering, is it TEC Traffic Engineering Consultants?
Yes.
Are going to review the driveway locations and do a more appropriate traffic study as well as look at the emergency vehicles.
You say they will need to do that? That's what
They are actually going to do that. They've actually already started the process, yes.
Okay. So if we were to approve this tonight, would that be based on their outcome? If they were to...
If there's any modification, that would be in there, but basically the conditions that you would need to read into tonight is 1 and 2.
Conditioned upon approval by them.
Yes. And everything's already been worked out, what's happening there. So John has met with several of the city engineer and the city manager.
Do you have any idea what type of building that is going to be on the north end? I mean, what's going to it's housed in it, or do you have anybody leasing it yet?
That north end building's going to be 20,000 feet. It's going to be a split level. The grade drops so much, and could be some retail, could be office, could be.
Don't know for sure.
Right.
I'm a little new to the board. I'm sure probably people have gone over this, but I just had a couple. Have you got tenants? When are you planning on construction? And
I'm hoping to start about the beginning of the year next year. Beginning of next year, I'm hoping to.
you have tenants?
I have a couple I'm working with, and then I plan on the next few months working hard at that as well. But I'm very excited about the possibilities of what we can do there. City Bites has their location over here across from the middle school, the old high school. They want to move over there, and they're going to move their hamburger they got a new hamburger, Mad Cow, I think's the name of it. Mad Cow.
Oh, great.
They want to
That's
move.
good, Mad Cow.
They want to move their hamburger restaurant over there, and then they're going to move their I believe that's the name of it, man. If it's not, please scratch it. They're going to move their sandwich place over there on Yukon Parkway. But anyway, what I'm excited about is that building is going to be magnificent enough to attract some pretty cool things, I'm hoping, to Yukon. It's going to be really a neat, first-class constructed building, beautiful. And so I'm convinced that I can go out and bring in some new things to Yukon that we don't have today.
So you're gonna stick to this site plan?
Yes, sir.
Am I reading this right, John? Are there several buildings here?
There's the 3 buildings. The main building is 34,742 feet. The first building we're going to construct. And then there's a building that we talked about to the north that's a split level. And then there's one to the south that's a 2-story.
And it shows one other structure here.
It shows more than 3?
No, I think he's talking about that.
2, 3, shows 4 with the north one.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. Great question, or great statement. That's a drive-through. That building, that when you look at the south end of the property, and there's a building there, it's going to be 20,000 feet. And then you look at the main building in the middle, it's split there. That's one building with a drive-through in between it.
I see.
In fact, we have 3 drive-throughs, one on each end, and then one between the building there. So I met with retail people, and they said drive-throughs are really popular for lots of things, restaurants.
So there'll be like a window in there?
Yeah, there'll be. So there's a drive-through. So it's really going to be it's going to look like an old downtown building with different masonry, different bricks, different stones, different mortar colors, and drive it and those kind of things. But the cool part of it is it's still going to look like an old downtown building with 3 drive-throughs. So we're making it, not only is it going to be very beautiful, it's going to be functional and meet the future demands of what retailers are looking for.
And I noticed on the color picture that there is one more curb cut to the south that's past your property. That's one that's already there, correct?
Correct. That's an existing drive, but as noted in your staff report, if you were to go look at it, it really is a drive that's a small drive that I don't think would be utilized anyways, and it just services ag property. So if you were to look at commercial planning and the way that you typically would structure it, that drive will not be in effect when that site develops.
There'll be a fence up or something there, correct, that they cannot use that?
Well, I suspect when they develop it, they'll probably go ahead and cut out the approach and build the curb across it
Oh, okay.
and do away with the approach altogether.
Because we wouldn't want another one right there. Because someone would figure out a way to use it.
Sure.
Yeah, it goes to nowhere, and the staff indicated that in the future probably not even be there.
I believe that's part of the staff report,
Mhm.
and
But I'm very excited for the opportunity to bring this building to Yukon. We've been working on it with Crafton and Toll for almost more than a year, and it's going to be really beautiful. And it's going to be something that we'll be proud of to have on the east side of Yukon.
Any more questions from the commission? No? Anything else? All right, I'll accept a motion.
Commissioner Taylor, I just have one quick question. I've noticed, and I wasn't in on the very beginning, I know this has been in the works for a while. The site plan that's shown on the aerial doesn't match where the curb cuts are. Which one is going to be the one you go with?
The one they have in front of them today.
Okay, so the actual drawn site plan then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
What happened when we widened Yukon Parkway, formerly Mustang Road, I gave the easement across my property, and the city gave me those curb cuts. But we just spaced them out 500 feet apart because we didn't know what we were going to do. And then Crafton and Tolles designed the parking lot to fit the building, and that's why the new drawn-out plan is what we're going with.
That would work better, especially with the middle drive too, because I know that there had been some discussion with the city engineer regarding the turning movements between that center drive and the drive that's currently there on the other side of the street, so that would work out much better.
So the one you have in front of you is the one where, yes. Thank you for asking that.
There's gonna be a traffic light there, you know? Don't know.
That'll be determined by the study, the traffic study.
All right. Have a motion from someone?
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman. In the case of the request by 4N Development LLC to review the proposed driveway locations for the Stone Mill Phase 4 commercial development, we've read the staff report and received testimony. Find ourselves in agreement with staff findings, including all plans and attachments. I move that this item be approved with the following conditions. The distance between the north drive and middle drive be supported by an application for a variance process to vary section 2.06A of the City of Yukon subdivision. And the second condition is based on additional traffic information to be provided by TEC, the city engineer, will ensure that the final driveway design will comply with all appropriate standards to include provision of required radii and driveway widths sufficient to accommodate emergency vehicles, design that will accommodate any additional traffic warrants indicated by TEC information, and the proposed middle drive will be designed such that proper separation between it and the existing drive on the east side of Yukon Parkway is provided.
Okay, we have a motion. Have a second.
Second?
Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion or anything else anyone has to say? Call roll, please.
Robert Davis,
Yes.
Larry Taylor,
Yes.
Bob Doggett,
Yes.
Marlene Smystrela.
Yes.
Thanks, John. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
John?
Thank you. Sorry for the mistake.
Well, you're sitting there with a school board member. I'm surprised he didn't get up and slap you there.
He should have threatened me, but that looks worse on me than you.
Item 5, consider a lot line adjustment for John and Lindsay O'Hara, being 129 Oak and 131 Oak. Yes, sir.
How you guys doing?
State your name.
John O'Hare,
Okay. So you are the applicant?
I am.
Okay, tell us a little something about what's going on here.
Well, when I purchased a house about 17, 18 years ago, apparently the house next door to us was over our property line. We got a survey done to construct an addition to the house. When the survey was done, I was aware that the property line was actually about 6 feet over into the neighboring house. And since then, we were able to purchase that home to make a little bit safer neighborhood for our children. And now we are going to sell both homes. And in order to sell, for someone to get a mortgage, they don't really like the line being a little askew. So since the lots are so large, and I don't think we're going to encroach upon any of our R2 zoning and stuff, we're just going to scoot the line over a little bit and make it kind of, the way it should have been. So pretty plain and simple, I think.
So the east side of 131 and the west side of 129 needs to be adjusted.
Yep.
That doesn't cause any problems with any easements or utilities, anything like that?
There was none shown on the survey, and the surveyor is supposed to
The
review
only
that.
thing that I'm aware of is a sewer line that runs on the far west side of 131. I believe it used to go down the side of what used to be the vacated street of First Street.
Well, any questions from the commission? Nothing? Cindy, you have anything? Okay, I will accept the motion.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
In the case of the application for a lot split for Lot 2, Block 115 of the subdivision of Block 115 of the Lake Addition, submitted by John O'Hare, we've read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with staff findings, including all legal descriptions cited in the report. I move that this item be approved.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. We are approving this, correct, Mitchell? It doesn't go to council?
That's correct, you're approving it.
Okay. Any further discussion, questions? Call the roll, please.
Liz Meisterlin,
Yes.
Bob Doggett,
Yes.
Larry Taylor,
Yes.
Robert Davis.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You got it.
Thanks, Lee. Gentlemen, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
And our next item is consider a second driveway cut to make a circle drive by B.K. Weaver, being Block 1, Lot 1 of Stone Mill Addition, Phase 1, located at 2113 Stony Brook Lane.
Hello, everyone. Brian Weaver, BK Weaver Construction. Currently building a house there at 2113 Stony Brook Lane. And through the construction process, you know, I originally submitted to get the permit with the plans and everything. We didn't put the circle drive in there. But as the construction went along, contractors outside the house, the front of the house, you know, when it kind of, cars parked out front and it sweeps around back towards Parkland, there's a lot of traffic there. Come to find out, you know, just keeping an eye on it, there's quite a few times there's almost been an accident. So, and I think with the construction process and to keep the roads safe, you know, I think that it really needs the circle drive to keep the cars out of the street. And I know there has been maybe some issues or maybe some concern with the site of the driveway, the circle drive coming in and out. And I've taken some pictures. I hope you guys have there to kind of see how, you know, that'd be standing in the middle of the drive on either side, looking both ways, north and basically back to the southwest towards Parkland. There will only be one curb cut other than the 3-car drive that's originally on the plan that we have here, roughly 24 foot wide and about 12 foot in the middle of the driveway. Other than that, I mean, as you can see from the pictures, I mean, it really needs it. I don't know if y'all have ever been driving through there at 5 o'clock with cars parked out there, but could be a pretty serious situation. You know, people coming in and out of work in the mornings too could be serious. So,
Is 24 foot a standard size for a curb cut?
Well, on stuff like this is what I've been told it is. You know, 22 to 24 foot. If you guys need it larger than that, I'm trying to stay. There's a storm drain over there also. I don't know if you saw that. I'm trying to keep away from that at least 5 foot or more.
Yeah, I just didn't know it would need to be that big.
Well, I mean,
Is that how wide the driveway?
yeah, the driveway, and then you got at least your 5 foot radiuses for your radiuses by code for the city of Yukon is what you have to have. So it ends up working out about 22 to 24 feet.
Yeah, the driveway hits the street at an angle too, right? That would make that opening wider, probably.
It could be a little bit wider than that. And you know, there's only one other curb cut. The north side or northeast side of the lot there would be attached to the 3rd car driveway. So, and the lot is actually, I mean, it doesn't look real big from here. If you were to go out there on site, I mean, it's pretty good pretty good sweep around the corner there.
Any other questions from the committee?
I didn't follow that completely. There's 2 curb cuts?
Well, the main curb cut for the the original driveway, which the northeast side of it
Up by the
attaches.
garage? Is this it?
Yeah, this is the regular 3-car, and he's gonna come in off there. It's not gonna be another curb cut.
Not gonna,
Yeah, just 2 total for the whole house.
In other words, he has the one that's coming with it here. And then he's gonna pull this sweep off of that driveway. And you'll just have the one extra curb cut.
oh, okay. All right, I'm sorry. I
You're
misread the
fine.
plan.
That's my beautiful
I've-
artistic
no,
work
I've
there.
got it now. Okay, good deal.
I think what's confusing is he's got it at the right-of-way instead of the curb on his drawing. The curb cut's up here, it should come on down like that.
Yeah, that helps me get confused too. I think I've got it.
Any questions? I mean,
We have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd
Yes.
like to make a motion, please.
Okay.
In the case of the application for a second driveway cut for Lot 1, Block 1 of the final plat of Stone Mill Edition, Phase 1, submitted by B.K. Weaver Construction, we have read the staff report and received testimony at the public hearing. We find ourselves in agreement with staff findings, including all legal descriptions cited in the staff report. I move that this item be approved.
I'd second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion, questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Larry Taylor,
Yes.
Robert Davis,
Yes.
Bob Doggett,
Yes.
Earlene Smystrela.
Yes.
Okay.
thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Brian, can you wait just a minute till we finish? I need to ask you something on another subject. Any new business to come before the planning commission?
At this time, we have no new business.
Okay. Any open discussion? Anyone have anything on their mind? We have anything from council or staff? Yes. Do you have something?
School starts Thursday, if everybody doesn't remember that. I mean, if you do, that's good, but tomorrow night is the Battle of the Bands. If you want to support the school starting period, I'm going to be a judge. It's always fun.
People need to get used to school zones again.
Right.
Very important, very important. No further business to come before this committee, then I will, and the next meeting is September the 10th. Meeting adjourned.